Good morning, I guess. Chosen one, I love to see the Filipino fight back. It takes a lot to push their buttons. Yes, it does, doesn't it? It does. Philly in the Philippines, good morning. McLovin, oh my God, flying lumpia, watch out. We're not gonna take it. Yeah, we could put that to music. Damn, Slick, you everywhere. Smile and be happy. Interesting topic. Yeah, and we have to be a little careful about this topic because there's a warning in this as well. Good morning, Slick Rick. Thank you for coming in. Chosen one, I'm like a bad dream. Indeed you are. How you doing, Brian? EDSA 2. Yeah, there was at EDSA, at Rizal Park, in Cebu, in Davao, everywhere. Every time I'm in the kitchen, Chosen one, you in the kitchen, in Pop's voice. The protests are going on all over the Philippines. Yeah, they are. Brian, are you seeing anything down there and on Siargao Island? We didn't hear of anything here in Angeles yesterday, but we certainly watched it. There was supposed to be a meeting spot, but you know what? For those of you that are in the channel, let me explain to you what's going on. So, as many of you know, there are always people claiming, allegedly, I have to be very careful here, of alleged corruption. And so, what's happened here in this particular instance is about a month ago, I guess, you know, we've had a lot of rain this season. Okay. And with all of that rain, there was a lot of flooding. And with some of that flooding, unfortunately, there was some loss of life. Now, with that being said, they started to look and investigate, and they found out that there's been billions, if not even $1 trillion pesos in management contracts for flood control that have not been adequately taken care of. Now, this was a called for nationwide protest. It was called for to be peaceful, but if you take a look at what was peaceful, well, you know what? Let's look at this. How about this? Now, I took the volume out of here. You will notice that in this particular video, this was in Manila, all right? In this particular video, there's more social media people than there are protesters here at the very, very front line. So, you know, the other thing that you would notice here is that it's quite timid in comparison to protests that you see. I mean, in America, we see very violent stuff. Now, this guy's explaining, you know, what's going on, and the cameraman is saying, hey, you know what, just here to film, that's it. So, you know, it is a lot. But to get the Filipino people to come out and to aggressively go after things, this is a big deal. This hasn't been seen since a long time ago. All right. You know, here's a picture. This is, you know, just the formation. Unfortunately, it's not the best picture in the world, but this is the formation, the beginning, and supposedly there are estimates. The protesters had said they had like 80,000 turnout. The news says closer to about 40,000, and the police department says closer to 5,000. So we really don't know how many turned out. But my point with all of this, and I will say this now before those of you that leave, okay? Don't get involved. It is completely against the law for you to participate as a foreign national. You may not participate in any of this stuff. Not at all. So, that's the first thing. Excuse me. It's a sign of things, though. I mean, and I think what's happening is that people are saying, what happened to our money? Where is the corruption? And what's going on with all of this? Well, let's catch up with the chat first off. Ricky Lass, good morning. Thanks for coming in. Ugly Tourist dropping in. There you go. Don't forget to check out his channel. And hey, Chosen One, didn't you start your channel? And if you did, can you find a way to get that link over to us so we can find out and join and be a member? Sean, good morning. How you doing, Sean? Thanks for dropping in. Tim Desiak, good morning. Hey, everybody. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for dropping in. Ruby's seen this when she was young, I think. There were similar protests back in older administrations, but it's not something that I can talk about. Ken Unger, hello, fellas. How you doing, Ken? Thank you for dropping in. Oh, Lord, here comes Ruby. I was trying to have a good day. Oh, you're going to have a good day. Come on, Chosen. You can't help but have a good day when Ruby drops in. Matt Smith, thank you so much, Matt. Well, you're doing a PSA for expats. Yeah, I am. I'm telling you, don't get involved. I don't know what is going to happen. The weather has not been conducive to this either. All right. It rained on them. There's now a typhoon alert. In fact, the reason we started this at 8:00 instead of 8:30 was because I was planning on being at SM at 10:00 to get and renew my driver's license. But at 3 this morning, I read that all government offices except essential offices are closed in about like 30 Luzon provinces, and Pampanga is one of them. So I can't. Heath McDaniel, good morning, Heath. How you doing? No trespass here is fiesta. Oh, nice. So instead of protesting, they're eating lechon. There was a rally yesterday morning scheduled at Holy. Yeah, I know there was one scheduled. There were two of them that I know of that were scheduled here, but I don't see anything in the news about it. Good day. Everybody's saying hello. Mike. EDSA was the people power revolution that toppled the last Marcos. Could this be the sequel? I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't think, I think this is more in tune to the stuff that's going on. I mean, they've already identified a lot of people that they're upset with. And they're saying that heads are going to roll, that people, there've been a couple of politicians that have already resigned over this kind of stuff. They've got a couple of whistleblowers that are seeking witness protection. They've got all kinds of stuff. I saw an article the other day that an audit showed that there are over 1,000 classrooms throughout the Philippines that were under contract that never even got completed. And they did clarify that by saying completed could mean that they didn't get painted, the finished paint, they didn't get the finished electric, windows, the not completed was a pretty broad spectrum. Okay. So Ruby says in Angeles City, yeah. A TIFA in the Philippines. Well, that was another article this morning. So the government is saying there were a lot of paid protesters, and they're saying this isn't right. A lot of these people were paid, because we've seen that in the U.S. In fact, there are professional companies in the United States that protest groups use to hire. In other words, they will contract with XY, Protesters Are Us Incorporated to come and support their cause and protest at, Buttlick, Arkansas, protest site. So we'll see what there is there. Slick Rick, good day to you too. I'm packing up, heading back to Australia today. Ruby, we'll hope to see you come back. Filipinos are docile. If they protest, something's horribly wrong. And Chosen One, I think you're 100% correct. I think for you to get that many people to come out and protest, all right, to get that many people to, and such a young group. It's the younger generation that's focusing on this. And I think social media has a huge deal, but to get that many people to come out is a big deal. It really is. It means that there are some people that feel really bad. Ruby, is that a good thing? And Brewmeister, how you doing, Brew? Thanks for dropping in. BT and Betty, how you doing, BT? Poor BT, I feel for him. He's in the middle of building the house, and he's pretty much been set back. You should go to his channel, watch his videos. He's building the house out by Mount Oriot, and but the rain is just held them back. Slick, is it ever a good thing going back to work? I don't think so unless you're a sucker for pain and torture. Hello, Mike. And yes, good advice to not get involved with politics as a foreigner. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. I created my channel, but no videos. All right, now, we may have to run into a competition here, Chosen. I mean, I thought I had cornered the market on YouTube's laziest vlogger. But you may be running, you may be some competition for me. It's a slow process. Yeah, I guess it is. Text World, happy Monday. Mike, how you doing, Text? Thanks for joining us. Chosen One, Ruby is messy. Blah. I just hope there's no youths that are trying to mimic U.S. Antifa. I see a lot of young people covered in black. Well, black is a Filipino color. I mean, in the Philippines, they wear black, and I don't understand why. I do understand why. You would think Filipinos in a tropical area would wear white as it's cooler, but black hides the dirt. All right? It hides the dirt. You can get dirtier and dustier and black and still look clean, or at least less ruffled. And we all know the Philippines has a trash problem. Good morning, James. How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. John, my little world. Chosen, you do have one video, brother. Oh, really? Come on. Oh, Chosen didn't even know you can see that. Or either that or maybe it's an old channel. It says he has a new one. Hairy shoulders, good advice. If you want to be keep happy, keep your visa, stay out of politics. Yeah, well, it is expressly against the law for you to be involved in any type of a protest or an organized demonstration. It's against the law for you to do any of that. So I took Easter videos 7 years ago. Ruby says, the People's Revolution in February 1986, first time when Filipinos joined together, regardless of stature in society. Yeah, and I want to see the follow-up on this. I want to see the news that follows up and says, did it cross all the socioeconomic boundaries? How well received was it? I mean, for Filipinos to get publicly violent, there's an issue. There is an issue. Philly, when politicians in America are corrupt, they go to jail. When politicians are corrupt in the Philippines, they go to America. That very well may be true. Chosen one says, whoops, I missed one. Wait a minute. McLovin says, we see the paid protesters in Chicago all the time. Yeah, they've been using paid protesters across the United States for years and years and years. Chosen one says, Philly, because everyone is corrupt, it's cultural, they can't tell on each other. And that might be part of the problem. Part of the problem is how deep would this alleged corruption go? How, if it's true, how deep would it go? Not something I want to know about. I do want to know about, but certainly not something that I'm going to pursue. Hurley Johnson, good morning, thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. Wow, 60 in the room, 17 minutes, 18 thumbs up. That's a good start. It is a good start. Robert Bone, I am retired 1 week from now. Congratulations, Robert. Robert, what do you plan on doing? How do you plan on your future life? I mean, you could say every day is the first day of the rest of your life, but certainly 1 week from now, I can tell you when I retired, I was kind of in shock a little bit. It took me a while to get to that point of saying, I don't gotta go to work today. Chosen one says, I'm the worst vlogger, but I'm the biggest troll. You're okay, Chosen. It pays off. You know what? I like Chosen, and I like some of the other folks that your opinions do matter to us. It really does. I'm not so egotistic that I can't look at other people's ideas and say, hey, I should maybe think of that or in relation to that than the way I think. Michael says, I think it's a direct reflection of the protests in London last weekend. Millions hit the streets protesting. Yeah, the UK is in just a world of crap. All right. I can say what I want to say about the UK. All right. I don't live there. The UK, the health system's falling apart. The pension system's falling apart. The public aid system is falling apart. And their immigration and their immigration laws are actually horrible, horrible. Professor Ricky D, are there any protests? There was one at Holy Rosary, but I didn't see anything on the news from it. There was supposed to be another one at another church. I can't remember which one, somewhere across town. And I haven't seen any update as to whether they actually took place. Harry Shoulders, I'm happy with 3 subs. There you go, Harry. It's not a race, that's for sure. All right. Subscribers. I mean, we love to get new subscribers. We certainly do. And it's not because it's the numbers that matter. New subscribers bring new blood into the channel, new ideas, new opinions, all right, new information. I mean, there's a lot of smart damn people out there. McLovin, Chosen, I did AirPod unboxing and got over 2,000 views, so I'm the laziest. An AirPod unboxing. There you go. Keith Self, I am certain the Filipino people have had enough of corruption. You know what, Kenneth? I have to be very careful, but the issue, I will tell you what transpired the other day. All right. So, maybe I told some people, I don't know if I've already told you guys this, let me know. Went to go get my medical for my driver's license renewal. Arlene was getting her license renewed. I was just going to go ahead and get my medical done and, take care of the rest of it later because I had to do the test. And this, to make a long story short, so I have my blood pressure, my eyesight, height, weight. That's desk number 1. She points me to another desk. Desk number 2. Oh, sir, we have to, that'll be 100 pesos. Now, the physical, the health check is 550 pesos. Okay. But this is 100 pesos extra. And she's sitting there with like a record book. And I'm like, okay, but why? Oh, because we have to do your blood type. Because on your license here, it has your blood type. And so I pull my license out of my wallet and I hand it to her. And I said, no, you don't need to do that. I'm already blood typed. See, this is a Philippine driver's license with my blood type issued by this very location, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, no, we have to redo it. All right. It has to be done again. I'm like, okay, well, it's 100 pesos. Big deal. Do you think they told Arlene she had to do that? No. Do you think they made the Filipino that was renewing their driver's license behind me do that? No. That's corruption. Because if you're getting a new driver's license, obviously, but why are they charging extra for the blood type? That's part of the physical. And then secondly, they got the white guy. So, that is the bottom line. Vlogging Life. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Michael Atos, George Soros Open Society is all over the world paying Antifa. Yeah, he is. And they are. And it's his son now. It's George Soros' son is really heading most of that up, is my understanding. Thanks, Ruby. Thanks. That was my mom's name. That's Robert Bone. He retires in 1 week. Congratulations. Making popcorn. Vlogging Life. When you make the equivalent of 1,200 USA and drive a Lamborghini Urus, there might be some corruption. Yeah, it is. It is unique. That's for sure. Bureau of Immigration. Dan P. Good morning, Dan. Thank you for coming in. Bureau of Immigration sends their police to protest to look for foreigners, and they just drag them off. I don't know if that's proven. I don't know, Dan, but it might make sense. All I'm saying is, and I'll repeat this a couple of times, do not get involved. Do not get involved. All right? Even though you might be a vlogger and you're going to get video, don't do it. Get away from it. Do not be a part of it. All right? It is going to be nothing but trouble for somebody. That's for sure. Professor Ricky, I attended the George Floyd protest in Austin when I was living there. No one paid me. Well, somebody paid a lot of others. Matt Smith says, tired of complaining American women. I guess Matt's tired of them. I don't think the Filipinos complain about American women, but Chosen One says, Filipinos don't mind a little corruption, but not too much. The government is brazen. They don't give a shit. Supposedly, very bad demographics across the res. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure what res means. Reservation, very bad demographics against, I'm not sure. You have to explain a little bit, Matt. Mike, Professor Ricky, Mike, I retire in 2 years after 30 years of teaching at the university, but don't want to fully retire. Is it possible for a foreigner to teach in the PI? Yeah, it is. We actually have a friend. He lives upstairs. He taught at one of the international schools for kids here. He taught at one of those for several years, but there's a process, and you've got to you won't be able. You have to be on a 9G, a working visa, so. You won't be able to do it as a tourist. Now, you could teach online as a tourist as long as the company doesn't teach Filipinos. In other words, their services are offered outside the Philippines, okay? Because then it's not a Philippine law. Filipinos got comfortable because of his daddy. They remember, yeah, you know what? There's some history there. That's for sure. There is, and Chosen One's correct. There is some history. Matt Smith, bad demographics across the West. Boomers didn't have enough children to support welfare states. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on how you deal, but yeah, okay. Text World, Philippine showbiz stars on social media have had plenty to say. Yeah, well, one of the biggest stars here in the Philippines is calling them out. That's Vice Ganda. I saw an article this morning. Vice Ganda's out there supporting the protests, but that's her prerogative, all right? She is a Filipino. I'm not sure what Vice Ganda's pronouns are, and I apologize. But you see what I'm saying. Tom Spake Patch Badge Manufacturer BKK. Oh, BKK. Beautiful, beautiful Bangkok. Tom says millions protested last week in the UK? Question mark. Get it right. 120,000. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look. I know that there have been almost continuous protests in the UK nonstop for a solid month. They're protesting in front of the migrant hotels. All right. The assistant prime minister stepped down. There's a lot of stuff. Ruby, for this corruption protest to move forward, to some disgruntled military servicemen to be involved. Otherwise, politicians will always look after their own interests. Sad but true. It's possible. You know, I don't think I'm in a position to really be able to say much about that. Ask Ruby, she lived under Marcos. If Marcos was so bad, why did the Filipino people elect his son as the president? Well, I can understand that partially, Brian. I mean, just because he was bad, you know, and I mean, I don't know whether, I don't know how bad Marcos was, that how bad, you know, was it all proven? I really don't. I'm not up to speed on that. McLevin, I agree, Ruby. I know in the U.S. they are a little scared of well-trained, pissed-off veterans. Yeah, they are. I'll tell you. You know, the right to bear arms in the U.S., that changes politics quite a bit sometimes. Europe can't support welfare as they didn't have enough children. Now they get American system. Yeah. Yeah, and they will certainly do that. Hairy Shoulders, can you donate blood in the Philippines at the Red Cross? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. They don't give a shit where you came from. They just want clean blood. They'll type cross match, test the RH. You could donate platelets as well. Philly, social media posted that Philippines history on Marcos was fake news. People believed it. Okay. Skin tax, indeed. Oh, beautiful. Got my first thumbs down of the morning, 32 minutes in. 70 people in the room. Wow. But I got my first thumbs down. Thank you. Thank you. Marcos is bad. Filipinos still suffer. There was a recovery. Yeah. There was no recovery. I think that's what Chosen One's saying. Harry, yes, you can donate to the Philippines Red Cross. Yeah, absolutely you can. You can donate to the Red Cross. You can be an organ donor if you want here. You know, your guts are as good. Oh, man, perfect. 2 thumbs down. Wow. Man, the trolls are happy this morning, aren't they? Oh, my God. Free the D30. Yep. Chosen One says, I'm protesting with the Filipinos. I would be afraid to drive in Antipolo. Too much traffic, so much as a fender bender, I would automatically be guilty. You know what, Sean? Philly could give you a good story. In fact, Brian has a good blog about that. I don't know if it's in one of his playlists or not, about when he was involved in a fender bender, and the only thing that saved him was his onboard cameras. 3 thumbs down. Way to go, Mike. I am batting good numbers this morning. What can I say? Kenneth Self, Dynasty, just look at Angeles City. Lassiter family's been in the mayor's office more than any other family. That's true. That is true. And the people here seem to love him. They really do. Michael says, do not fly your home country's flag in the Philippines. You know, I never thought about that. I never thought about flying an American flag here. I didn't know whether there's a problem with that. I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Michael. Matt, Philippines is cool. I feel for export economics as no one has replacement population to sell overproduction to. No, filling the Philippines, the three free bag of rice, without a doubt. And so does the Pamantan family. Yeah, there's more than one. Look, there's several dynasties, multiple dynasties across the entire Philippine political spectrum, the entire country. Chosen One says, I have no dog in the fight. I only visit the Philippines maybe 4 months out of the year. I'm just being honest. There you go. There you go. Dan P., there was a PETA protest, people for the ethical treatment of animals, I think, against the Manila Zoo a few years back. A kid from Norway flew in to protest. BI saw him coming, dragged him off before he could even get a sign. Wow. Mike, what kind of colleges and universities are in the area? There are multiple. There are several in the area. I don't remember their names offhand, but there are several here in the area, and I don't know, Ricky, if you can get a job teaching at one of those. I don't know what the requirements are. That is something you're going to have to look a little deeper into. Text World, UK protests would be even bigger if they didn't have thought police knocking on your door afterwards. I don't know what happens there. All I know. There we go. Yep, there we go. I don't know. This microphone might be having some. Sorry about that, folks. Lost a little bit of that, but we're back. That's on the iMac. Wait a minute. Let me see. Nope. Okay. Well, you're gonna have to deal with the this second microphone. My regular microphone is not working, so I'm on the backup microphone. So, but I apologize. Okay. So Ruby says it was only recently that Australia lifted the ban on UK residents donating blood in Australia because of mad cow disease in the 80s. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, UK residents donating blood in Australia. Hmm. Ricky D, you do realize that Philly is one of my moderators, right? I mean, I've known Philly for years. Um, some days he looks retired, some days he looks spiffy. I never seen him to look unclean, but you know what, Brian, do what you want with Ricky on that one. Um, I'm not so sure about that. Ranger for collectors. How you doing, Ranger? I hope you're doing well. Right or wrong, stand for something. People are tired of crazy stuff. What happened to common sense? Yeah, that's a good. I don't think common sense has been around for a while. I want the Panama Canal back. No shit. I want the Panama Canal back, and I want Bagram Air Force Base back in Afghanistan. I want them both back. So, Slick Rick, I hope for the best. Yeah, I do too. I do too. The Philippine people deserve a good life, just like everybody else does. Okay? Audio. Oh, oi, yikes. Ruby, Douglas, did Carter enrich his wealth while in power? Did he also get his opposition jailed and killed? Not quite on the same page. And that's true. Feedback, bad audio, your microphone's short, kick a wire, something wrong. Philippine government turned off my microphone. Nah. Audio buzzing, sound is a big buzz, loud hum, audio. Sorry. Hold on. Bookum, Dano, how you doing? Can Arlen jump in and tell Mike what's the problem? Yeah, she did. She did. Chat must be jacked as well, not seeing what we're saying. Mike, fix the audio. Oh, my pacemaker is interfering with the sound. There we go. I don't have a pacemaker, Bobby, but maybe one of these days. Ah, we love you, Mike. You, my boy, boo. Bless his heart. Anyone got Mike's cell phone number? Arlen need to fix Mike. Big Brother's watching Mike's live stream. Uh, when you have paid government employees told to downplay the numbers of the protesters from higher ups protesting the political class, I will believe citizen journalists over government subsidized BBC News. Yeah, I'm working on it, Todd. You should have it. Stand by. Mike's happy as Larry, chatting away to nobody. Could this be a message? Uncle Fester, your mic is messed up. Quit talking. Buzz stopped. Yes. Fix. Holy Angel and Angeles University. Those are two of the universities. There we go. One of the thumbs down must have pulled the plug. Correct. You got it. Okay, audio's back. Everybody seems to see it's back. This was a test, only a test. There we go. Perfect sound now. Ruby, I was tempted to call KP reception, but not needed anymore. There we go. There we go. Robert Boone, slick back mic, sounds good. It's good now. Back up, loud and clear. Holy Mary, Mother of God. I'm not going to put up all the microphone stuff. There are plenty of UK people living in Australia. Once they experience the good weather in Australia, they don't want to return home. Yeah. You know what? That is something that seems, oh, God. I'm trying to think of, you guys are going to, if there are any old guys from the UK in the channel right now, I got hooked on watching a old UK sitcom, and I can't remember the name of it now. And it's about two old pensioners, and this little grubby town they live in, and their grubby little lives, and their camaraderie, and it's a comedy, and it was quite racist, to be honest with you, but it was, it's probably close to 10 years, 15 years old, but yeah, they complain about the weather all the time. Pablo, hope Janet is okay. Who's Janet? Pablo, who's Janet? I'm not sure about that. Mike, I never met Philly, but a friend of mine did, and that's what he told me. Yeah, well, you know what? Still Game. That's the name of the. Has anybody seen the British sitcom Still Game? STILGAME. Never met Philly, but a friend of mine did. Well, you know what? I've met Philly on many occasions. I've had meals with Philly. I've had breakfast with Philly. I've met his wife. I've met both of his kids once. She brought them to breakfast. He never looked unclean. Okay? But that's my opinion. Douglas, Michael, BlackRock now has the lease for the Panama Canal, so it is once again operated by Americans. I want the Panama Canal zone to once again be an American territory. We bought it, we built it. Okay. Ruby says back in the 70s and 80s, any protest leaders, even students, would be picked up, disappeared, never seen again. Quite dark days in the Philippine history. And in the 70s, Ruby, you would have been in the midst of all that. I mean, you would have been a college student, or I think, in the 70s, and a freshly minted engineer in the 80s before you moved to Australia. Ruby, under Marcos, Pablo says, that buzzing sound needed to be followed up by the following. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Sadly, I do not know where my daughter is right now. I'm assuming she is in bed and asleep. Wasn't Benny Hill from the UK? Yeah, Benny Hill was a British show. Was EastEnders the UK comedy? No, I've never seen EastEnders. This was a little stupider, I think, than EastEnders. Love thy neighbor. Janet is Mike's wife. No, my wife's name is Arlene. Arlene's doing fine. Pablo, yes, Marcos Sr. and I was martial law baby. Only president I knew till 1980. Wow, there you go. Rob, thanks. I confused Philly for Mike. There we go. I caught up on all that. So again, as a public service notice, when these protests take place, do not get involved. Do not associate. Do not go into that crowd. Not because of protest fight issues, but because it is strictly against the law for you to be a participant or seen to be participating in any organized labor or any organized activities in pertaining to the government. That is strictly against the law. So for those expats coming, tourists that happen to be here, do not do that. Do not. Pablo Ruby, quite an experience. Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine what it would have been like to be like that, to be honest with you. I really and truly don't. It's certainly an experience that was not something that I would have seen for sure. But Ruby, we're all happy you made it through. So what else is going on? Well, we got the typhoon coming through. I don't think it's going to cause much in the way of things, basically because it's going way north of us. So unless it shifts and comes back down here in Angeles, I don't think we have anything to deal with. I do know that they did cancel school and close the government offices throughout about 20 provinces, and Pampanga was one of them. So here where we live, here in Angeles and Pampanga, there's no school. Only essential services are available. Mike, retirement wife. Oh, Mike's retirement, Mike's Philippine retirement, I think is who you're talking about, Rob. Mike's Philippine retirement. I don't know. I know there's a lot of innuendos out there. There's some gossip out there. All those types of things. I don't know. I hope both of them are doing okay. I mean, we don't know them well. I have met Mike and his wife, Janet, once. Oh, now I have 4 thumbs down. Wow, I am on a big roll today. Good deal. All right. So I met Mike and his wife Janet once, but I mean only for like an hour or so. They were here in Angeles. They were trying to learn a little bit about Angeles. So what's going on with them? I don't know. And you know something? Until you hear it from him or from her, are you trying to tell me you're listening to other people, Rob? I mean, Rob, how bad YouTubers lie, how they go after clicks, how they do whatever they can do to get views and to make those paltry pennies for the broke guys, all right? Listening to them can be a world of misinformation. So we don't know. We have no idea. And until one of or both of them come out and say what's going on, if anything, there may be nothing going on. Who knows? All right. But until they do, you don't know. You just don't know. Buenos dias, Dardos. How are you? Buenos dias. ¿Cómo está? Ruby, U.S. should be wary if you'll have a leader who wants to be in power indefinitely. We've lived it here. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be significantly against Trump going for trying to find a way to jury rig and get a third term. All right, the rules are the rules. They should be what it is. And I mean, it's not that I agree, disagree, Republican, Democrat, has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is exactly what Ruby is talking about. getting the people having the ability to be in power indefinitely is not good for democracy. Mike, I passed by Ace Bashir a few times, but always early in the morning. He seemed like a friendly guy. I've had breakfast multiple times with Ace Bashir. He's very likable, nice guy in person. All right. I've got no complaints there whatsoever. He's kind of funny sometimes. Tim Desiak, hope I don't have to go near any protests while I'm in Manila tomorrow. Tim, please be very cautious. I don't think there's any leftover stuff, but it's early yet in the morning. We haven't seen what's going on. Um, you know, we wish you a very safe trip, Tim. Mike, in general, is Angeles City safe for typhoons? Yeah. I mean, we've had. Arlen was here for one. The only one that actually really hit. I was stateside of any significance. There was another one that came very close to us last year, year before, something like that. Um, uh, but generally speaking, we're far enough from the coast. There's a mountain range in between. So therefore, it loses a lot of strength. It drops a lot of rain. But Angeles is, rain. It's we don't see the huge. Although we did see some wind, we don't get them that much. At least in our experience. Now you've got to remember, we've only been here since 2020. We've been, we were in Manila before that, but 2020. So, Michael says the red flag issue is don't advertise you're a foreigner for any reason that political unrest may arrive and you could become a target. Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss the fact, though, that you're a foreigner. I mean, most of us don't look anything like a Filipino. Kenneth Seth. Also, RCC, which is owned by the current mayor's family, going back to the 1960s college in AC. There you go. Geo struggling in Thailand, lost followers. Possibly. I don't watch Geo, so um, but it's possible, Rob. You know, it's a whole new niche for him. People that watch his Philippine stuff may not be interested in Thailand. So who knows? I'm sure he'll get them back. Ruby, free speech taken, print, media, all news, TV stations, all government controlled. Wow. That would have been scary times, Ruby. That really would. Slick Rick, please consider becoming a member of our Philippine Journey by clicking the join button in the About section on any video. Well, thank you, Slick Rick. In fact, weather permitting, I will be doing a members only live stream from Tequila Reef on Thursday. So, Ricky D says, I arrive October 1st. Well, welcome in advance. Rob, I confused Philly for the other Mike, Janet's husband. Arlen's husband is the guy talking right now. Yeah. Generally, Angeles is safe during typhoons. Yeah, we've been through two. One was pretty windy, but that was like it. It was a Cat 4 or 5 coming over Angeles, which is incredibly rare. But we had power the next day. Marcos declared martial law in '72 because he couldn't run for a third term. Ooh. Thank you, Kenneth. I have other more important things to worry about than some YouTuber's married life. Yeah, Hector. I mean, really, I don't understand what the big deal is. we see people, you know, you don't have to get on YouTube to see people's relationships fail. You don't. It's so common. It's just what it is. I do recognize that if you have some bit of notoriety, that type of stuff, but you know, until you walk in their shoes, you don't know what the whole thing is. Mike, have you met the vlogger Leon? He seems to have a lot of issues when he does his walking around vlogs. Yes, I do. I have met Leon. All right. And Leon knows exactly why, or should know exactly why, I disagree with him. I don't dislike him, but I do disagree with him. That's all there is to it. He seemed a very nice guy. I introduced myself to him, talked to him, asked him to remove me from his video. He did not. But hey, that's just the way it is. Dan P., there's nothing to prevent him from running as vice president. The Constitution just prevents him from running as president for a third term. Dan, I think you're correct. I think you are correct. But, we'll see. Pablo, Mike, I already voted this video a thumbs up. Would you like me to vote a thumbs down? Bring the thumb down count to 5? Nah, there's no need to do that, Pablo. Where is Arlen? Arlen is in the living room taking care of some other stuff. Arlen does not love YouTube. All right, I'm just, you can go in our playlist. You can see videos where we're on vacation. You can see videos where Arlen is there. She's done videos before. She's been on a live stream before. Okay? But she is not a fan of being in front of the camera. That's just all there is to it. Okay? And unlike many other vloggers, I am not going to I'm not going to sell my wife for views. I'm just not going to do it. Okay? So, even I have some moral values. All right? Not that there's anything wrong with people whose wives want to be on YouTube or want to make content or want to have a channel. Nothing wrong with that. But you can tell sometimes there are women who really don't appreciate being on. Let's see here. Michael says, yeah, my point is not everyone knows where you live, but the flag is a dead giveaway. Yeah, I do understand that, Mike. Mike, are you a coffee or tea drinker in the mornings? I am a coffee drinker, Ricky. Ricky, I drink a pot and a half to 2 pots of coffee a day. I have coffee here, and I have water in my magic green cup. Dan P., but isn't a vice president to take over if the president, or for whatever reason, the incumbent is incapable or dies? So what's stopping him from being the third term president? And Ruby brings up a very solid point. Rich people like Maya more than Geo. At Rob. Oh, I'm sorry, not Rich. At Rob. People like Maya more than Geo. Well, I think Maya's probably a better looking person than Geo. Does that make sense? Sometimes that's all it is a looks deal. Ruby, yes, he could become president again if he were vice and then president could no longer. Yeah, there we go. Trump will never attempt a third term. He's trolling the media to the left. I think Robert's correct. I hope Robert's correct. Estrada is an example. There you go, Kenneth. Mike, I walked in front of Leon once when he was filming at the pool party, but it didn't bother me being on his video. It doesn't bother me to be on his video, Ricky. The point was, I asked him to remove me. He was right there at the exit. In other words, I took 2 steps to the left, 2 steps in front of me, 3 steps to the right. Okay? Crossed right in front of him, and he posted it. And I did. And that is not the only time. So if we're going to deal with that, then we'll deal with it. But, perhaps he's forgetful. Maybe he couldn't keep it in his mind for 10 seconds. I don't know. Dan P., isn't that a violation of the U.S. video Constitution? Just odd working around the system, which constitutionally advocate will disagree. You know what, Ruby? I don't know. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I do have a friend here. Actually, he's in the U.S. right now. He's married, has 2 kids here, and a 3rd adopted child. And he actually specialized in constitutional law. So when he gets back, I could ask him. Coffee's good for you. It prevents all kinds of disease, dementia too. I don't know. I would think it's not so great. Sean, I would love you to do a YouTube channel. I would love to do a YouTube channel, but I'm too private of a person. Don't know if I could open myself up to the world to see and criticize. Yeah, let them criticize you. Who cares? Mike, have you had your cough checked by a doctor? No, I've got pneumonia is what it is, and I'm on medication for it. Yep. This head cold turned into a sinus infection, which drained into my chest, so I'm on medication. Ruby, Constitution only prevents him from running for a 3rd term. Chubbs is live with 41 viewers. Chubbs will do well. Chubbs gets big views. We've got 55, and it'll steadily drop right now. All right? And, that's fine. Mike, coffee prices have gone up in the U.S. because of tariffs in Brazil. Yeah, I would think so. I would think a lot of prices have gone up. I would think a lot of things, not just coffee. I know the prices here have gone up, and there aren't even tariffs. So, I think inflation, I think there's a worldwide situation. It's not just tariffs, that's for sure. Ruby, he could step aside and the Speaker of the House would be president and he will still be VP. The other solution. There you go, Michael. I don't know if that's possible, if he's allowed to step aside. I don't know. Maybe there's a constitutional thing that says if he's not qualified to become president, then the Speaker would. I don't know. Arlene just sent me a message. She's listening to all of this, guys. Arlene just sent me a message that coffee went up 100 pesos in the past 2 months. Don't forget to hit the like. Thank you very much, Slick Rick. Ricky says, I graduated from law school majoring in income tax law, but that was almost 20 years ago. Tax laws have changed. I am sure they've changed. My God. But isn't he nearing 80? Are there no better qualified? Sure there are. I think that there are better qualified to run the U.S. I think that it's important to have more than one viewpoint. J.D. Vance will never pick Trump to be his running mate. Whoever wins the nomination gets to pick. And that's true. Sean, how long were you sick before getting diagnosed? Getting sick is tricky in this humid environment. I figured out it was pneumonia about 3 weeks into it. I thought I had sinus infection. I thought, I started to think I was having allergies. And turns out it's a sinus infection. Yeah, so P100, yeah, it's going to break me. I mean, you guys know I am the brokest YouTuber in Angeles. I am the laziest YouTuber in Angeles. I am the brokest YouTuber in Angeles. I might be the ugliest YouTuber in Angeles. I'm not sure about that one yet. Okay. We set the standard for certain things, that's for sure. Coffee prices have gone up due to drought in the coffee producing countries, not tariffs. So, Arlene says, yeah, it was 100 plus. So it's 100 and something, depending on which coffee. I like the coffee, believe it or not. I like the coffee that we get at JJ's. Arlene gets this Filipino coffee beans, and we grind. Oh, they're really good, really good. Self-diagnosis. Yep, self-diagnosis is bad, 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 and I hate going to the doctor. To top it off. All right. Heidi has you beat. Heidi has me beat with what, Bobby? I don't know. What is she? Laziest? I don't know. I'm pretty lazy. Um, what else was there? I forget. Just left your live to check the live up in Britain Island. 170, Bantan Island. 170 mile per hour winds up in Bantan already? Really? Wow, James, thanks. That's significant. I'm so poor. Tim says I'm so poor I can't even pay attention. I had pneumonia in April 2024 and eventually became hospitalized for 3 days. I was on self-medication, eventually got enough and went to the hospital and got tested. Yeah, unfortunately, I did too. In fact, it might have been September of last year. I got pneumonia. And that's what led to me eventually being hospitalized, where they found out I had coronary artery blockage, where I ended up getting stents. So Arlene's like kind of peevy about it right now. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like me not going to the doctor. Robert Bone, I have a feeling that you're not broke, sir. Oh, no, we're not broke. We're just the poorest YouTubers. Last year, September, Arlen says, man. Yep. And you also have the least amount of hair on all of them, Doc. That's for sure. Everybody has more hair than I have. Michael says, AI overview plus 5 droughts in major coffee producing, especially Brazil and Vietnam, have reduced crop yields, tightening the globe. There we go. There's some more. Must be the Bantanas. I'm sure he's talking about the Bantanas, Ruby, because that's where it was supposed to go. So that is for sure it. Again, another public service announcement. If you are anywhere near any of these protests, steer clear. Turn around, walk away, get away. Don't sit around there. Don't video them. Don't look like you're participating in them. Do not be a part. It is strictly against the law. Strictly against the law for you as a foreigner to be involved in this. There is no type of visa that allows you to do that. You would have to be a citizen. All right. I don't care if you've got a quota visa. I don't care if you've got a 13A, an SRV, a tourist visa. All right. Or any one of a half a dozen other different types that there are. There are no visas that allow you to participate in any organized demonstrations. Period. Stay away. I love that invisible clock. I do too. It's cool, huh? It's got, you can see the little Hydro Flask. It's made by a company called Hydro Flask logo. But otherwise, it looks invisible. And it's actually over half full. So, I mean, there's something in it. That's for sure. Um, Arlene says it's Bantayan Island. Bantayan. So I guess maybe she just went online to look. PG, good morning, PG. When you have a situation like Imelda Marcos being convicted of plunder, sentenced to 42 years in jail, hasn't served a day, living in luxury in Ilocos, the legal system is broken. It's possible. I don't know. It's not in my business. I'm not going to be a part of it. Um, I don't get to decide, and neither do you. Well, you might, um, but we're not going to get involved in politics, um, other than to say, hey, this is what's going on. That's it. As an expat, you should never get involved in local politics. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even with a consular visa, diplomat, you would be removed. Yeah, there is no visa. The Constitution, um, uh, excuse me, the Constitution strictly says foreigners not allowed to do that. Bantayan Island up north. Yep. Mike, my girlfriend lives in Cebu. Been to Cebu, didn't care for it, but I'll be honest with you, didn't really spend much time there. Cebu was a stopover for us, couple days on our way to Bohol. Um, um, hang on. Yeah, they're taking a beating there. They certainly are. Okay. Arlene just sent me a reel. If she would send it to my WhatsApp, I could have added it to this. Mike, you look distinguished. How you doing, Pablo? Thank you so very much. Robert Bone, I have a Filipino friend in Bohol that posts anti-government content on Facebook. Does that put her in? Is she a Filipino, number one? Then that's different. And then does it put her in danger? Certainly it does. All right. Being posting anything, no matter who you are, that is against the grain is going to be a bad thing. Okay? Pablo, didn't you work in the medical? Yeah, and you hate going to the. I hate going to the doctor. I hate it, hate it, hate it. And you know, now once you get me there, I'm fine. But getting me there is not an easy thing. I gotta be sick, sick, sick. PG, no, mate. My point is that why younger people are revolting in the hopelessness they feel when the rich and influential pull all the strings until no, PG, you're correct. You're correct. But at some point, don't you think that the younger people are gonna be able to um, uh, gonna instill some form of change? You know, sooner or later, the older people die and the younger people come up. So I think what it really boils down to is that it is, well, you know what? You're right. You're right. You said the rich and influential. And you're right. There can be young, rich, and influential too. So, yes. Mike, what bar are you broadcasting from that's on Perimeter? I don't think I've ever been to that bar. It's not on Perimeter. It's on A Santos. That's Tequila Reef. All right? That is Tequila Reef. That's where we go. Yeah, she's a Filipino. Yeah, I would be careful. Only time I stopped at Mactan Airport in Cebu was on our PAL, Philippine Airlines flight on medical emergency. One passenger had a heart attack while in flight, taken to the hospital in Cebu, and the flight continued. Oh, great. Okay. Well, I hope they did okay, Ruby. Prepper is back. Yeah, now the sound is fixed. I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to take a look at it. I got no idea. But I'll deal with it when I'm not wasting your time. So that's the bottom line. 53 in the room, an hour and a half. Well, all right. So let's see here. What are we going to do? This was the beginning yesterday of the protest down in Rizal Park. All right. And this is what happened. Take a look at that. Now, there are a lot of graphic photos out right now of police with some pretty significant injuries. I mean, really significant injuries. So I am I'm a little distressed. You know, not that I'm afraid or anything like that, but just simply because I think that there's issues that need to be taken care of. I mean, you know, while we don't normally see Filipinos this aggressive, okay, I want to see what's going to happen. How aggressive is the law enforcement going to be now? I mean, they're not going to stand around and get hurt. They're not going to stand around and let that continue. They're not going to stand for that at all. And it'll be interesting to see, I think. So, you know, it's definitely an eye-opening experience. Thoughts and fair judgment. Yeah. Mike, I go to my doctor named Bond every 3 months, have a full checkup, test for everything every 3 months. There you go. Good for you, Ricky. Mike, you need to do a live getting a neck tattoo. No way. No way, Michael. Are you kidding me? No way. Mike, what is your favorite restaurant in Angeles? Mine is Duke's at Scorebirds. I don't think it's got much attention or credit. I've had the food at Duke's. Um, it wouldn't be on my favorite list. Okay. And to be honest with you, some of the best restaurants are in Clark at the casinos. Passenger was a big guy, couldn't get the stretcher on the main door, but had to get through the back door. Yeah, seen that happen. Heck, Prepper says, name one country not having protests today. And he is absolutely correct. There's not one. Yeah, I don't know. Is Antarctica a country? Nah, it's just a continent. It's not really a country. So I'll bet there's one somewhere, only because they don't have, social media or something. I don't know. But Prepper, you're 99.9% right there. A lot in the crowd. Yes, it's a very young crowd. Very young. very young group. And I think that the government is going to take note of that. All right. They're going to think, and think about it for a second. When that young of a group, they've got jobs where they're getting paid $10 a day, 500 pesos a day. That's it. How happy do you expect them to be? All right. When going out to get dinner can run you 350 to 500 easy. Ruby says back during the Marcos era, where cannons and tear gas were used. Wow, cannons? I mean, like real cannons? Ruby, the hell was that? This is a peaceful protest. Want to see violent? Watch some videos of the '68 DNC convention in Chicago. Yeah, we've seen them. RK Smoke Bar and Resto Food's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad. RK is good. We've been there. I we've been there. It's not bad. Wearing the black clothing while burning and causing chaos is a universal symbol of Antifa, whether the participants realize it or not. Perhaps, Robert, but you know something? In the Philippines, Filipinos wear black all the time. All the time. I mean, that is just a staple. You have to remember, Filipinos wear black because it hides the dirt. Okay? It can be dusty and not look nearly as bad as white, even though black retains heat. Okay? T-shirts are black. Pants are black. Shirts and hoodies are black. I don't know. I don't know about that. And I can, it may be a universal symbol of Antifa, but I have never seen any Antifa signs in the Philippines. Ruby says water cannons. All right. Ooh. Ricky, my grandfather returned to the Philippines in '44 with MacArthur, and he used to tell me stories of retaking Clark Airport. Wow, congratulations. Thank you for his service. Thank you very much. Michael, talk about a big person having a heart attack. I saw a 500-pound plus woman transported on a flatbed tow truck. Holy crap. On a flatbed tow truck? Really? That's pretty significant. All right, folks, it is an hour and a half in, and we certainly appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much for dropping by. Please do subscribe, hit your thumbs up. Please share anything you can. I'd really like to grab 5 more subscribers by the end of next week. I would love to break that 6,900 barrier. Thanks so much. Have a great day and be safe.